Attorney General's office says DNA testing confirms Ariel Castro is the father of a 6-year-old girl born to one of the 3 women he's accused of keeping in captivity. Let's bring in our legal guys, Avery Friedman. He's a civil rights attorney and law professor. You're in Cleveland this morning. And Richard Herman, you're a New York criminal defense attorney and law professor. You're joining us from Las Vegas. Okay, guys, we know that Ariel Castro, he's already charged with kidnapping. He's charged with rape. Now he could be facing aggravated murder charges. The lead prosecutor says he may seek those charges related to claims Ariel Castro starved and punched one of his captives, Michelle Knight, to induce at least 5 miscarriages. So could those, be death penalty charges? Richard, does this sort of bring up that debate of when life begins?
Allison, absolutely. But apparently in this jurisdiction, life began for these fetuses. Now, as Avery said, more charges will be coming, Allison. These were the initial charges filed. The case will go to a grand jury, and the government will present all their evidence to the grand jury, and they will try to bring the charges for aggravated murder for the killing of those fetuses. And the question, again, here is, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Can they really prove that? Is there any corroboration for that? Or is it just the young woman's testimony? And will that be enough? And they can't just bring charges unless they have a good faith belief that they can get a conviction on those charges.
Okay, Richard, let me ask you this. What about eyewitness testimony from these 3 victims? It seems like that's going to play a huge part in the prosecution's case.
It will play a huge part. But again, Allison, you have to look at the ages of the children and the conditions that they were under, and you have to assess each one of them individually. They have to be interviewed separately, not in a group, so you can get the straight story from each one of those. So you can get a conviction in this case. The worst thing that would happen here is if charges were brought and the stories of the children were all over the place and you're not sufficient to get a conviction. Avery said this guy probably is the most hated guy in the United States right now. So the prosecutor has to tie up their case nice and neat, and they've got to be able to prove and have some corroboration for the crimes that they're going to charge this guy with. I was just saying, this guy had a history of domestic abuse. There was a history of this. So when these children went missing, why this house was not raided and taken apart piece by piece, I don't know. It's right in the community. It reeks of some of these other cases, the Mark Lunsford situation in Florida, where the kid's right next door. I mean, it's just incredible, the intelligence that was out there.